In about 2 hours, Premier Zamani Saul will, of course, deliver his State of the Province address. It's his fifth, and it will be the second time that he's done it outside of the legislature building in Kimberley. Of course, a lot of problems that are being faced here. People are complaining about unemployment, they're complaining about various infrastructure projects, and so a lot of these issues, bread and butter issues really, that he will have to address in the State of the Province address. Of course, the man who will have to look for the funds to fund those projects is the MEC for Economic Development and Tourism, Ulrich Hendriks. So we're looking at another lot of promises from the Premier. He's going to say where he's going to head for this year, and you will be the person who's going to say, okay, here's the money for the various projects.
Yes, thank you, Ulrich, and also to the viewers of SABC. Yes, indeed, it's an exciting day again where the Premier, as the leader of the Sixth Administration, will be speaking to the people in the Northern Cape about our plans. Obviously, we'll also be reflecting on what we've been able to achieve in terms of the commitments made at the last SOPA, and I'm convinced that we have made a lot of inroad and a lot of progress around all of those projects. If we can just focus on the projects in the Northern Cape, the catalytic projects, there's about 4 key catalytic projects that we see as key for economic growth in the province. You have the Kathu Industrial Park, you have the Uppington Industrial Park, you have the Namakwa SEZ, and then you have the Boegoebaai development in the Port Nolof area in the West Coast. So all of these projects over a period of the next 9 to 10 years will be able to create anything between 40 and 63,000 job opportunities, which will amount to about 5.5 trillion rand of investment into the province. So we are excited about the prospects and of these catalytic projects, because we see it as key to transforming the economy of the province, but also contribute to the GDP of the province big time going forward.
Let's talk about these projects, catalytic projects. That we know the Uppington one, we've seen some movement there. In terms of the other 3 IDZs, how are things progressing there?
I can safely say, as far as the Namakwa SEZ is concerned, is that indeed through our engagement with the minister at the national level of DTIC, Minister Patel, and the leadership of the Premier, we are convinced that by the end of this year, we should be having the designation in as far as the SEZ of Namakwa is concerned. A lot of work went into it. We are confident that as a province, we will be able to be afforded the designation of the SEZ in Namakwa, and with the understanding that by next year this time, we'll be able to have the sword turning of the SEZ in the Namakwa area. That is the first one. The one around Uppington, indeed, you are indicating correctly that there's some movement, 50 million rand already as a start, but we must also mention that already this is a clear indication where the private sector works very closely with government. As things stand, over the last 3 years, we've been able to gather investment of about 285 million rand just from the private sector in Uppington. From the side of government, we'll be able to contribute about 250 million rand in that project in the Uppington Industrial Park. In as far as the Kathu Industrial Park is concerned, there's still a lot of work to be done around that, some infrastructure work to be done, some planning work to be done there. So we are working very closely with all the relevant stakeholders in the Kathu Industrial Park, making sure that we achieve our goals that we have set ourselves over the medium and as well as over the long term in as far as the Kathu Industrial Park is concerned.
MEC Vosloo, one thing that has a lot of excitement around it is, of course, the Boegoebaai and the green hydrogen project in the Namaqualand area. Huge investment there. Can you give us an update? Where are we at the moment? We know that you and the Premier have been looking for investment from abroad, especially in the last year.
Yes, Ulrich, a lot of work went into the Boegoebaai development. And remember, it's going to be a huge development. For us, it's an exciting opportunity to actually showcase the province. But we must also understand this project is not only a provincial project, it's a national project driven by the infrastructure office in the presidency at the national level. It's a sub-project approved, and therefore it enjoys the support of national government. So we've been running not only in the country, we've also been running abroad, looking for investment into that particular project. The project will consist of a port as well as rail that will be connecting and the eastern part of the province to the western part of the province, ensuring that we are able to move our raw products from the eastern part of the province, where you have your metal belt in terms of your iron ore and your manganese, to that part of to the western part of the province. But over and above that, there's a huge project, which is the green hydrogen project. And that project in itself, we have already secured an investor. A lot of work has been done. Pre-feasibility studies has been done. We are looking forward that by November, December this year, the feasibility study will have been completed, and soon after that, we'll then be able to make the necessary announcements at the right time. As things stand, the uptake and the interest in as far as the Boegoebaai development is concerned and the green hydrogen project is concerned is huge. Just last year, in December, we took a lot of investors from the summer that was in Cape Town. We took them to Port Nolloth and explain to them what the project is all about, but also take them on a site visit, make them understand what the project is all about. And already there's huge interest. We have been visiting plants in Johannesburg and in Germany, where this green hydrogen is being produced. And we can see that this project will certainly derive serious benefit for not only for the Northern Cape, but for the entire country. But what is huge is that this project is not going to be a Northern Cape project anymore. It's going to be also between the Western Cape, and even through discussions with Namibia, there will be further engagement to ensure that we create a corridor along the west coast where green hydrogen is developed, and therefore we're excited as a province that as a province we are key to the development of green hydrogen in the province. Remember, we are also the only province that has actually developed a green hydrogen strategy for the province, and it's based on that document that we are able to move in the way that we've been moving. Already we can mention that the Prieska Power Reserve, which is a green hydrogen project, we foresee that by the end of this year, it will actually reach financial closure, in the hope that in early next year, we'll see the dust in the area of Prieska, of the 9.7 billion rand project. It's a huge project for that area. And from where we are sitting, we see the Northern Cape as the capital and the renewable energy hub of the country. Already, all renewable energy projects in the province, in the country, 60% of all renewable energy projects are based here in the Northern Cape, amounting to more than 100 billion rands. So you can see there's serious interest in terms of the Northern Cape. And if I'm speaking of renewable energy projects, I'm speaking of solar, of wind, and green hydrogen. And therefore we are positioning ourselves to make sure that as a province we are ready for investors. And therefore we also want to use this platform once again to extend the word to all our investors out there, to make sure that they take a keen interest in what the province has to offer and what this project has to offer, and invest their money into the future of all of us. Because this is what this project is all about. It's not only about the Northern Cape, not only about South Africa. It's about renewable energy for the future.
Thank you very much. That's MEC Abraham Foswo, of course, the MEC responsible for economic development and tourism here in Northern Cape, of course, updating us on the green hydrogen project. A big topic in the State of the Province address last year, a big topic in the State of the Nation address by President Cyril Ramaphosa, of course, this year and last year, and of course saying that it's coming together, and they're hoping that project alone will create something like 20,000 jobs. Of course, jobs very important in this province where unemployment is relatively high, and especially here in Calvinia, where a whole lot of people that we spoke to yesterday, Desiree, a number of them, unemployment and poverty, top of their list for the Premier to address during his OPA at 11 o'clock.